Hi and welcome back. My name is Perth. To be honest, I don't even know if I want to just talk or I want to just vent. I am so tired of the abusive nature of many lawyers in this country, especially those we've come across in this matter of my son. They can be very abusive, manipulative, they can be very underhanded. When they don't get their way, they resort to spite. They become very vindictive. The level of unprofessionalism is way too much. I can tell you so many stories, but today I'll just extract from what happened between Junior and the last lawyer that was in this case. You see, Junior, when he approached Mr. Mafu, at the time, he was looking for someone to represent him to appeal a judgment concerning property that belonged to one of the companies that his father owned. When Junior approached Mr. Mafu, he said, no, don't follow that route. Don't waste resources fighting small battles. It would be better if you just fight for the entire estate, because a lot has gone wrong here that was not supposed to happen. So let me help you fight for this estate, and then you will also get back your house. It sounded smart because all along that's what we wanted. It sounded like the man knew what he was doing, because really we wanted someone to put a stop to all of this anyway, all of it. Now Mr. Mafu raises something. He says, look, the way you were removed from the board in your father's company was not legal. That could be a start for you. While I work on the estate, I need to get you back into your father's company. So he gives him an instruction that you need to go to the company and meet this woman and tell her this, but make sure that whatever you tell her, there are witnesses, or you record the matter. You would think that when that is happening, Mr. Mafu is also busy with the rest of the estate, then you would have been wrong. Mr. Mafu did nothing. Eventually, Junior does everything. Mr. Mafu is excited. Oh, I'm going to file an urgent application to the High Court. Please come to the office. He calls him to the office just to tell him that, no, he's going to file. They would have used email like most lawyers Junior has dealt with. Whenever there was a draft, the lawyer would send it, and then they would send it back and forth until they all agree, and then Junior would go and sign, and then that would be it. I'll be honest with you, Mr. Mafu never wrote a single email to Junior. He took this matter in March. The only two things that I'm aware of that he did was write 2 emails to the executor's lawyer. That's the only thing I'm aware he did. He said he would file the following Tuesday. The Tuesday came and went. Junior called him, no, he was unable to do it. The following Tuesday, no, I couldn't because I was in a wedding. Junior said, no, I'm not going to call Mr. Mafu, because since we started together, I'm always the one who's reaching out to him. Up until November, so that's 8 months since the time he took over the case. When he learns that Junior is there to collect his file, the man boils. The man loses it. Why he didn't go to the office, and he becomes abusive. Cut the story short. No problem, you think that is over. Then he said he will find the file in his office. This man calls Junior, even when he has left. He's shouting at this young man, verbally abusive. Now, you would think Junior would be angry because this man has been sitting on this file. When I say sitting, he's just been doing absolutely nothing with this file. So you would think he'd be happy when this file is being taken away from him. No! His argument is he drafted for Junior, but he has not been able to get hold of Junior for these past months that he hasn't been communicating. What kind of nonsense is that? How stupid must you be to say something like that? Being a whole advocate. You could have just kept quiet. To blame it on not being able to get hold of a person with all these modes of communication. Yeah, he continues to be verbally abusive, and he said, yeah, he's a respectable lawyer. He's a respectable person. Who told you that? How did you arrive at that? Who told you that you are respectable? Because respect is earned. And right now, to me, everything that he did was not something that you would attribute to respect. I mean, really, I think this word is used very commonly. Respect is earned. It's not something you turn a corner there, you find it lying and you pick it up. And you wait for people to tell you that you are a respectable person. You don't say it yourself. Don't beat your own drum. So says someone who cannot even place a phone call successfully for months that you are a respectable person. My question is, if you cannot place a phone call successfully, what is it then that you can do to prove that you are a professional? You want to be the one who's angry, and yet you say, yeah, and then you want to be the one who's angry. And by the time you're sitting on this fight, Junior has lost a lot of ground. And not only that, within that time, so many things happened. But you give an impression to your client, you're going to be fighting for him. I have to also appreciate that this case is complex. One has to have an understanding of the intricacies of this case and the many moving particles thereof. So I'll be honest and say this case is not for beginners. And so if Mr. Mafu was struggling with this case, there would have been nothing wrong in saying that I am struggling with this case. And then you write to the client and say, you know what, you need to come and collect this. I'm unable to move. Whatever the reasons those may be, or you reach out. That's why people have colleagues, that's why people have peers. You can't be a specialist of everything. Don't be proud to call another lawyer who specializes in a certain area and say, would you be able to advise here? Or how would you like to come on board? Something. Because he is the one who, when he started this case, he said, yeah, this case requires someone with a financial muscle, who has a good infrastructure and a lot of resources and who's knowledgeable. Obviously, he was taking a jibe at the previous lawyer because that's what they do. They do that actually quite often. He was boasting about even having a boardroom, if that matters in winning a case. Now, I asked Junior once, because when he said he's got private investigators. So I asked Junior once, didn't you say this man has private investigators? Are they working and are they investigating anything? And then Junior said, I don't know, but I heard him talking about Umasangwana. Who is in his right mind who can boast about Umasangwana Nolinda? How do you boast about those two? I'm not going to go there. So I was suspicious then that, but then I had to take a step back because it's not my case, it's my son's case. So if he thought that he needed to continue, because I said to you, if I would just withdraw this thing. Anyway, he said Junior should go and collect this file at his office. So Junior goes there. When he gets there, he finds the file by the security officer. In other words, now he's too angry to let someone like Junior come into his office, because in his mind, he thinks he's God. That's the thing about them. They have this God complex. He thinks he's God. Now, Junior is supposed to worship him and beg him. Nobody's going to beg him. How do you beg someone who doesn't even know what he's doing? Clearly, he doesn't know anything. Otherwise, he would have moved. 8 months is a long time to prove yourself if you know what you're doing or not. You did nothing. And you want to act like God and people must worship you. That's nonsense. It's this abuse that I'm talking about. So he left his file at the security officer. Now, what kind of a respectable person, a professional person, would leave such a sensitive file with someone who is not even related to this file? What happened to a lawyer-client privilege? How is that professional and how is that respectable? Why is that even allowed? That is not the agreement. You leave the file in a safe place. Now you're exposing the client to the security or anybody. You can't do that. You can't take your client's file with such sensitive information or share with anyone. I don't think that in these 4 years, I heard they do ethics, they study ethics for 4 years. You could have fooled me. You could have fooled me. The way about unethical ngayo in most yabo, I cannot even explain it. Now, how is that ethical to leave a file yomdu with the client, with the security down, just because you know that there's nothing you will do, because when you are great and you know the right people in this country, you are a legal analyst, you appear on TV, you are a heavyweight advocate, so you are a respectable person in this country. In your own mind, your works must prove that, as if that's the worst thing that can happen in this case. When he left this file, Junior decided to just open this file to see if everything is in order. Lo and behold, there's a missing document. Now, this document is a crucial piece of evidence in this case. It's missing. Now, I do not know then if that is the reason why this file was left in this security officer's care. Is so that when because Junior tried to reach out to him to ask him where the document is, obviously he got no joy. Because akasakatali now, Mr. Respectable, akasakatali now, akako interested. So we must assume then that this security officer in this thick file would look into it and grab a handwritten fraudulent marriage certificate to spite Junior, because that security I'm thinking, has issues with Junior. So he would spite him and compromise him by taking that piece of paper. How is that possible? There are many documents there that man could have chosen, but he took something. We must assume, because Junior didn't get it from him, he got it from the security officer. So anything could have happened in between. So this man, the security officer, hates Junior so much that he would take a crucial piece of evidence that can either make or break this case. And the respectable advocate. And Tina, we are at his mercy. Because right now, he feels like he is aware that we've run out of resources, so we should now kneel and beg him and kiss his feet and kiss his shoes, because he is Mr. Mafu. He's pulling a rank now, he should not be treated. What do you mean? Why are you even a professional if you're going to pull that elder card? Why don't you practice law in the village and preside over people's crops and cows and things like that? If that's how you want to have an approach. In the city, advocate. I'm sure those people can teach him a thing or two, because the people in the villages, they preside over sensitive matters and they manage. They work those people, they get to the bottom of the problem and they resolve things without school, which tells you that really common sense was there before books. They can teach him a thing or two about a work ethic as well. Because when they say there's a meeting, they all gather and they sit in that meeting and they do their work. Work ethic yakuhlale ne 8 months yonke ungacommunicating the client. Other people are reaching junior. We are there, and he's supposed to be smart. Our interviewer, what is his opinion over a matter? Oh, we found a great lawyer. We've found a great legal representative. No, I was treating of Fanai. They treat those people they deem important in the society better. I don't think that when he represents these politicians, he does these things. I'm sure he communicates with them. So you ask yourself, what is it with this one? Take a bow and stop being abusive, because now I do not like men that shout. I don't believe in men that shout. Men shouldn't shout. I can't shout to someone, but I don't know about, is it part of the course now? As soon as they don't get their way, they will shout and insult and say things that hit below the belt. He's not the first one. He is not the first one. Many of them. Okanye umuntu xa uterminate services zakhe angafuni urelease ifile kodwa uhleli nayo expired. I hold the file. Hold it so that you don't get tired. And there is no one ungandixeleli ngala LPC. The only thing about cringe and that I've noticed is when you speak of the public protector. Once you mention PP, they sweat. But if you LPC, but so these are the things I'm trying to share with you. Uguti, do a little bit of research. Don't be influenced by the media, whether it's social media or mainstream media. For representative, talk to people one-on-one, take your time so that you don't find yourselves dealing with people. I took time to do this video because actually I'm taking time to get through the content, because this thing has gone ahead of us. We have to navigate things that may be possible evidence in future, and now I have to take out certain things that may be deemed sensitive. Thank you so much, and please just like the video. Just like, I'm not going to say subscribe if it's not something that appeals to you, but just to like so that the word can spread. I'll appreciate that very much.